tell me something, Damon. This, you might not, I don't know if you'll understand this shit or not, man, but I want you to say something to us, some real stuff that you've been wanting to get off your chest that nobody ever asked you, because I wouldn't know what to ask you. I mean, you so full of wisdom, and you going through a gang of stuff, man, and you seeing a whole lot of stuff, man. So if you had something like, damn, I wish these dudes would have asked me this question, or somebody would have asked me this question, what it is that you got to say that you need to be said that ain't nobody ever asked you that question. I would like to ask you that, because, again, we're interested in what you got to say, Lord, because as they begin to attack you, like they did Michael Jackson, like they do other people, the first thing they want to do is they want to assassinate your character. They want to put you in a position where they can bomb on you and then physically try to put hands on you and nobody react. So you fighting a major, major, major war, and I'm sure the minister told you that. See, the minister told us, the messenger, Elijah Muhammad, told us that there's three things the sciences of this world is never going to teach us, and that's the science of war, the science of business, and the science of mating. See, so we didn't touch on business, we didn't touch on mating with the women and stuff, but it's also war. So when you wage war on these culture vultures, man, they going to fight back. So, you know, I just want to know, man,
what the problem is? I was able to look at them in their eyes, and they soft, and that's what I told the minister. I have more fear for them than I do for myself, because what happens when you're loved is that it's uncontrollable how people protect you. You understand what I'm saying? So on a one-on-one, they're not going to get at me at all. But when they try to click up, there's always a little breach lately. You know, there's a shift of mentality that's going on. And the people that are pretending they're in power aren't in power. So, to me, Leroy is weak. He's not what he was. Yeah. He was something 10, 15 years ago because people believed him. There wasn't no internet. But he hasn't been able to rob an artist since I started talking about culture vultures. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I know how Steve Stout gets down. He's a nerd. He's going to do anything he can. I hear about what he does, how he says stuff to the paper. But who cares about perception? See, I'm not worried about what people say. I'm worried about what they do. And they're not doing nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Can they do something?
What can they do?
Right, so Damon, man, how old were you, man, when you got your first deals, man? I forget how old you were, but I remember 19 years old.
Yeah, my first record deal with Atlantic Records.
You got two deals.
East West, yeah, East
two
West
deals.
Yeah, your man Clark Kent.
At one shot.
Yeah, it was good.
You had money in your pocket at 19.
I mean, I had legal money, yeah.
You had legal money in your
I
pocket
wasn't paying
at 19.
I had tax problems at 19.
Future Sound, Original Flavor? Who was that?
Future Sound, Original Flavor.
How did that feel, man?
Again, like, you know, I was always feeling like I was always behind.
Right.
Because I was so far ahead.
Right.
So it wasn't a stat. I was mad I had to be signed. I wanted to have my own.
Right.
So I didn't like the fact that someone had to give me something and shit. I never thought that concept made sense. So I was all right with it, but I still was like, this ain't it.
Right.
So it's like.
So you knew at 19 that there was more?
Yeah, it's all relative, man. Especially when definitely. I definitely knew that I didn't want to be asking somebody corny to be telling me, giving me permission to do things.
Right.
And it just felt like a sucker's game. I always wanted to just get distribution.
Right.
But yeah, at 19, I was cool with having that check.
Right. So at 19, dude, like
I was jerking my artist. I didn't even know it. Yeah, you remember that contract?
I remember that contract, but understandably, those were the contracts.
Hey, you remember what happened when I figured it out?
Yeah,
I was like, give them back their publisher.
Yo, but that's the game, though. I mean, that is the game.
That's the game.
You were my client.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And at the end of the day,
no,
I'm not justifying.
It's all good.
I'm just telling you.
Thank you, Dan. We found out. Damn, he fucked up a few people deals.
Well, the thing was, the deal that I had with Original Flavor, Future Sound, they were definitely getting fucked all the way over. But when I realized it, that's when I was like, you know what, give it back. You know, and we started from scratch. So whatever the industry norm is, that just tells how crazy the industry was, right. Which innately and instinctually, I didn't want no parts of it. You know what I'm saying? I never thought that the way the artists were treated was beneficial to the artists. It always looked like everyone was getting raped to me.
Is that why, too? I mean, hearing Dane's personality right here makes me think this is why also people loved you repping them, because you went through the wall.
Yeah,
anybody.
I took it personal. You know, it wasn't business for me ever. It was always about what was like correct and being fair. You know what I'm saying? But I guess people that I fought for loved me, and I guess people that I fought against probably weren't too happy with how I would expose the way they did business.
Now, what made it personal for you though, Damon?
It's just everything. I go honestly, like I said, I began to realize how really creative I am. I just really move when I'm inspired. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm inspired, I'm gonna do right by it regardless, because it's just the cloth that I'm cut from. You know what I'm saying? It's just the rules of survival where I came from in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And just my family in general. So I'm just not about no fuckery and no bullshit, really. You know.
Now, one of the things that's common in the music industry, I mean, people have disagreements, people have arguments. That shit happens every day from day one to now, right? But what made a Damon Dash argument classic is you went extra in, or you tended to go extra in. Like, some cats wanted to be right, some cats wanted to prove a point, but you kind of, in a sense, used to go in more than that.
Well, you know, not to say it's my job, but I always kind of felt like it was my duty to make an example out of people that were misleading my culture, to make them think that they were either more powerful than they were, or that they were needed for our existence. You know, so I was like, if you think this guy's ill, I just thought it was important that he knew that I didn't think he was ill, and that him not playing the game right by me would put him in danger of making me make everyone aware else around him that they were not ill. So, you know, it wasn't like I was going to put my hands on somebody, but it definitely was a fear of embarrassment with people if they weren't correct. You know, it was the only way I could defend myself. I wasn't used to being disrespected in that way without any kind of repercussions. You know what I'm saying? And the repercussions were silly and kind of like ignorant. So it would just be me like, yo, I'm just have to embarrass you, man.
Now, one of the I remember one time we were getting some clearance. I think it was for Mary J. Blige for Reasonable Doubt. Yeah. And we had some legal walls that we had to go through. And we were speaking to somebody at Universal. I think it was at Universal. And we were trying to get the approval. And I had begged somebody to give us the approval. And they were like, listen, you can have Mary on the album, but you can't have the video. And you can't have the single. And I remember we were all on the phone, and you went off on dude. Yeah. And it was, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing. I thought the dude was doing us a solid. And that's when I was like, yo, Dame goes extra in, B.
Well, you know, I'm not saying that I'm justifying the way that I would probably speak to other adults. Because I know I don't like, I wouldn't do that now.
Right.
But at the time, you know, I just really couldn't see how someone that didn't own that product and also, you know, they just was acting like it was theirs and it wasn't. And the reasons for it were just to leverage and make me uncomfortable. Like, I'd never not cleared a record in my life. I never told someone, like a musician, if they want to do something, they should be able to do it. Shouldn't somebody be telling you what to do and if your likeness can be seen and all that other dumb shit? So I just was tight that they were thinking that they could tell me what to do and the reasons for it. And, you know, it was Mary's decision. My deal was with Mary. I didn't have nothing to do with that person. You know, I paid Mary. So, you know, I just probably didn't appreciate someone, especially a square like that, trying to tell me what was going to happen. You know, if I know me at the time, I don't even remember the conversation. But I just know what my frustration is with the quote-unquote music industry, which is why I don't partake in it. And I stopped a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
You got a bad taste in your mouth from the industry?
It's just nothing that I want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the way I do business. I'm independent. Like, the music industry isn't really real business. People have titles, but they're all like fronts. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you're told that you're something just so someone else could tell you what to do. Like, there's so many people out here are bosses, are supposed to be presidents or chairmen or whatever, and they always still have to ask somebody to cut a check. Me as a boss, I never had to ask anybody one time in my life. If I want to do something, it's done. It ain't nobody I got to ask. I'm the boss.
So I'm getting what you're saying is that
it's just a fake business.
You see the world as an owner.
Always.
And you want to move as an owner, and you can't understand people that are not operating on your level, in a sense.
I just hate when people pretend that there's something that they're not, and because it's been working for them to pretend that there's something they're not. You know, traditionally, when they carry me, I'm like, do I look like I got like Johnny written on my forehead? You know, and also it'd be like, you know, again, it's not to disrespect anybody, but it's usually a square or a lane that's trying to lay the law like that. You know, and it's just for something that they have no entitlement to. It's all bullshit. You could get hired and fired. So how you trying to tell someone that, you know, put their own money up, or someone that's put in the sweat equity, what to do, how to do it, and how to monetize it? It's just not right. And then culturally, it was just too much people not from my culture benefiting from it and telling people from my culture what to do, and my people from my culture that act like bosses other places, really, really, really being very humble,
And accommodating.
When they, accommodating to a lane. Right. Just for what? Right. You know, I just don't understand. It's because of that cultural mind fuck. You know what I'm saying? That they make you believe that you need them when you really don't.
Right.
Excuse me.
No. You spent a lot of time in the industry, man.
I spent 10 years. I got a tenner. But again, I did it. Again,
it wasn't more than 10 years?
I don't feel like I was in the industry ever. Like, if you remember the first time we went gold, I took out an ad and with my middle finger up in Billboard and was like, thanks to none of y'all. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like anyone ever I never played ball in this industry.
But you still worked in the industry. Like, you were still a record man.
I had to accommodate my partners.
Right.
But you never saw me doing none of that. Like, if I was in the room with them, they knew I wasn't happy.
Right.
And, you know, again...
Were you ever happy in the industry?
I was happy, but not the work in the
Right.
Not compared to the other businesses that I've done in my experiences the last 10 years. Now, my experiences in fashion and my experiences in a different kind of a music business. Nah, I was never really 100% happy because I always had to deal with people that weren't happy, that were too insecure, that weren't really doing work, that were just interjerking each other on a cultural level.
Right.
You know, watching so many people stab each other in the back, it's just not fun, especially from the same culture. It's like, you know, people pulling strings.
Right.
It's really kind of funny.
It's ironic, man, because we're talking about loyalty.
But I'm not bitter with it, though. Right. Don't get it twisted. No. I made so much money and it opened so much doors.
Right.
I'm just saying that I was able to work within the culture without being one of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then when I walked away from it, it was like looked at as if I got kicked out of it. And I was like, you know, ain't nobody kicking me out of nothing. I was gone. I already was doing Rachel Roy and other things that were completely in fashion. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I just have it's not the party I want to be at.
Your highest high from working in the industry. What was your highest high? Like your best moment working in the industry, man?
My best moment working...
Being in the industry, like what was your biggest accomplishment?
I mean, I was happy to be number one for 5 weeks in a row.
Right.
You know, to be able to figure out how to master the game without compromise. You know what I mean? My happiest... I don't remember what my happiest moment in the industry was. Probably being able to retire. I think my happiest moment in the industry was being able to walk into another one.
Right.
Like I'm done here, feeling complete. You know, like you also got to remember back then I was insecure, very insecure, because I hadn't done anything yet. So when I was talking, people wasn't listening. So
when you say back then, what period are you referring to?
Before we probably caught that Hard Knock Life lick.
Gotcha.
So before I had any history of being a winner, I had to act like a winner. I was insecure about not having one yet, knowing that I should. So after we did win and won as big as we did, I felt no need to prove anything else. That was done. I did it. I did hip hop to death. I don't need to do it anymore, and I had a desire to do other things. You know what I'm saying?
But you did it even better several years later. I think when you juggled state property and the diplomats and all of those crazy moving parts.
Yeah, that was, again, it was all good money, but it was too many dues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just, I had a good time doing it, and really what I was doing was trying to make a platform so other people that wanted to benefit from that perspective and point of view could, and I had enough money to go do what was artistically inspiring me. You know what I mean? Like I was pushing someone else's movement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at times, you know, it really, there's a lot of guilt from pushing a movement that's not healthy to your culture. You know, I was pushing that it was healthy to sell drugs and to get it however you can and disrespecting women and all that. And, you know, for a 20-year-old being ignorant without a male figure to guide you, you know, that shit is somewhat acceptable for a certain level. But as a 35-year-old, you can't justifiably keep doing that knowing you got children and the harm that it does to your culture. You know what I'm saying? So if you also notice, whenever I was doing the state property, I was also trying to do a woodsman. I was trying to balance it by making the money to pay the bills, but using that money to do something that was good for culturally good for the perception and reputation of my culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't trying to just do hip hop shit. That was just what was getting me my paper. I was showing that artistically I was better than anybody, not just a black guy, a white, black, or whatever. I wanted to get the Spirit Award, the Oscar, and I wanted to be on BET, but I also wanted to be on PBS.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I thought it was equally important.
You wanted it all.
A Pulitzer,
I just feel like the only way to talk to people is to be one of the people. But once I am one of the people, I got to show them the right way to do it. So the only way I can tell people to stop hustling and to stop killing is to be respected as someone that would have the ability to do those things.
Somebody who's successful and
but
successfully walked away from
places. Like I was in the game, I got respect there, and you know because I survived there, I could be like I could do this. But it was also easy for me to transition, so it's easy for everybody else. It was like one of the reasons why I was so happy that there was a black president. Just so black people knew that there was a chance for them to be a black president. You know what I'm saying? Period. It just made things a little bit more even perception-wise of our culture. It made us a little bit prouder. You know, we fight a lot amongst each other as a culture. It's ridiculous to me. You know, we don't stick together as a culture. It's ridiculous to me. It always has been from that day. I'd be like, if we all stuck together, then we wouldn't need nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Period.
Was there somebody, I mean, was it Diddy, Puffy, was it Russell? Because, I mean, everything that you branched out into, magazine publishing, fashion, was there somebody that you looked at in front of you and said, okay.
Russell, because he used to have the model chicks. I liked his life. I'm serious. I used to like his life. Like, he wasn't walking around with, you see, I'm alone. He was walking around. He never walked around with security. He always had a nice looking girl on his arm. And it was always a peaceful spirit about him. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no aggression. There was never no ego involved as it relates to survival, meaning acting tough so someone won't pick your pocket or something. You know what I'm saying? So I always respected that about Russell. So I'd be like, Russell, share some of that, or I'm coming to get it. And I always would tell him.
Right.
You don't think at the same time the ego helped? Oh shit, my mic just cut out. The ego played into you being
the role.
That you had to be the
yeah, I mean, I played. That was a role. You know what I'm saying? Like me, the hip hop mogul was like a quote unquote thing. You know, it was funny to me. You know what I mean? It was like, not to say a joke, but it was a part that I was playing 100%.
Do you feel like you maybe fell into the part too much?
Nah, not too much. I can't be too much. I mean, there's Kanye and there's Jay-Z and there's Cameron and all the things that we've done. So I can't see how it could be too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nothing bad happened. All that's happened that has been good. Right. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we've all lived to see another day, no matter what.
No, I mean more so just personally, like, you know, sometimes when you take somebody like for example, like the Joker. A lot of times people say that what's his name playing that role is kind
Heath Ledger.
To his demise because he was method acting so much.
He became that role.
And he became.
But he was also using drugs. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just using that as an example. But I'm saying, do you feel like the method acting?
I mean, it wasn't really method acting. Like, I turned it on and off. Like, you remember, you was in the studio. I wasn't coming through with a bunch of dudes. I was coming through with girls.
Dang. These are the last days, right?
The last days
of Rockefeller.
Rockefeller, right?
Yeah. What's going through your mind?
The empire.
I'm happy. I get to do Rachel Roy. I get to go do fashion. I don't have to go to no more court cases. I don't have to deal with Lior no more. I don't have to deal with politics. I'm fucking ecstatic that I'm at a place where I can walk away from something because I don't need it anymore.
Did you feel betrayed though, man?
Nah.
Not at all?
Betrayed by who?
Just by Jay.
I mean, I thought the way Jay carried things was a betrayal to the company. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, nah, not really. I didn't think the business way things played out. Like, I was more into the friendship than the business.
Right.
Because that's really what it was for me at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like, you know, Rockefeller, overall, we had built a brand for 10 years. And
went through so much.
Well, just that I knew I would be all right. I was trying to get away from it anyway.
Right.
But I was afraid for everybody else, which ultimately was the case. I just felt like Rockefeller should exist. Like Cash Money still exists. Like Bad Boy still exists. Like every other label still exists. Right. You know what I mean? But it just got...
But they still have that charismatic... I mean, understand, too, you are the charismatic...
I was put in a position where I couldn't be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going to be a part of it because,
And you weren't angry about that?
Nah, because it was obligation. I wasn't trying to do that.
Right.
So I was like, oh, y'all let me off the hook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had already moved to Rockware. I wasn't coming in the studio every day. I had already, that part of my life, that chapter of my life was closed.
Right.
I was sick of arguing and fighting niggas all day and talk about tapping George. That's not my demeanor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I want to be doing.
Or it was your demeanor. You just don't want to keep doing that shit.
When you're dealing with a lot of men that are talking about selling drugs, you got to be the toughest one there. You got to be able to put in the work you're sending people to put in.
Right.
So that wasn't the aggressive lifestyle I wanted to live anymore. I got daughters and kids and shit like that. So I was trying to do something that was a little more rated PG. That was a little less unproductive for the culture.
Right.
That was a little less based on the perception of money. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it was time for me to evolve as a person. I was becoming Gary Coleman. So that's why I was always trying to do other things.
Stunted, you mean?
Pardon?
Gary Coleman.
I was starting to be Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
Like, meaning like, he couldn't do any other character.
Right.
But that TV
He's getting boxed
show.
in.
Yeah. So
what you talking about, Willis?
It just felt like everything that I was being portrayed to be was only the negative parts as opposed to all of the positive things that I was doing, especially for the culture. A lot of what I did was for the culture. Like, I would make examples of motherfuckers so the culture would feel empowered.
And you inspired a lot of people.
I hope so. That was my intent.
Right.
You know, and also if I had to be the go-to or the fall guy for it, then I was all right with that too. Like, Dame Dash to me had to go anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, again, that perception wasn't what I wanted to walk around. You never knew me to walk around with security.
Right.
You never knew me to walk around being scared or worried about people being angry. I didn't want to be in an environment where I needed security all day. I just don't like being around a whole lot of insecure dudes. You know what I'm saying? And having to be the guy to be like, yo, to lead a rough team, you got to be rough.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a rough team.
As a professional button pusher, you never came across any type of like crazy situation that happened, like saying that you didn't run around with security and nobody really wanted to like come test you?
I got tested in Paris, of all places where you would think I would.
Did you have your girl? Yeah, tell us about that, man.
I got jumped. Somebody, we was taping, Choke No Joke was taping, and he wasn't supposed to be. He was on the block. He wasn't supposed to be taping, and he was acting tough. And I was like, all right, I'll ride with you if you're going to act tough. I'm with you.
Right.
But when homeboy came to take the camera, he bolted, and I had to end up fighting all them niggas. So I ended up fucking fighting 30, 40 dudes with mace and all that. So that was the one time that I took an elbow, not being...
Wait, you fought 30...
There was a lot of dudes.
I remember this.
The only person that came to my aid was Johnny Newton, but I was with my friends.
Johnny Newton, the cameraman?
Yeah, Johnny Newton represented. I was fighting all of them and shit, and I was getting caught with a blackjack and all that. And I was on the floor getting kicked, and I didn't know how I got up. I later found out he picked me up, and I'm looking at him. He's swinging the camera around. Everybody was going but me and the girls. And he's swinging the camera. He like, yo, Dane, we got to go. And then even after he walked me out of that situation, he went back in looking for Choke. Put a jacket on and all that. He was brave.
Where was Choke?
He was gone.
He
was ran in the from his
in the bistro.
He said he had ran in the Chinese restaurant, ran over the roof. He showed up at the hospital with a screwdriver.
Ratatouille.
So that was one of those times where it was like, yo, dog, you're not invincible, man.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be aware of your surroundings. You can't just be walking around with a camera everywhere. You're going to run up on the wrong block. So I felt like I deserved what I got there. I was glad I got out of it, and it also showed me how quick shit could go from a fucking dream to a nightmare.
Right.
I just did a short film in Hong Kong, recreating that, but with like a Chinese kid and
Karate Kid.
Ended up
you the Karate Kid.
It wasn't me though. You'll know that I was recreating it, but it was like a story that was inspired by that situation.
Talk about filmmaking. Was Death of a Dynasty kind of like cathartic? Was it kind of like you exhaling?
It was me looking at a situation and laughing at it. Like I knew what was happening, so I just made a funny movie about it. So I thought it was funny.
So, did you know how Cats was moving?
I just didn't care.
Right. But how do you not care though?
Because I got other shit to do.
I know,
it wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. So
right.
like, if I'm
you got bored.
If I'm hustling on a block and I don't want the block no more.
But you got the hottest label in the game right now.
Hear me out. If I'm hustling, if I got the hottest block in the game right now. So what comes with having the hottest block is me having to fucking always be at war, always be worried about the
always
got to
be the hottest.
Always got to be fucking aggressive and shit like that. And it's not what I want to do no more. So once I leave that block, I don't give a fuck what's going on that block. You understand what I'm saying? And if the point is I'm not going to leave the block because I feel that I put everyone on the block and they say, yo, you can't be on the block. All right, I'm gone.
I'm gone.
So that's why, if you know me, you know that I'm not going to just walk away from something unless I don't want it anymore.
Right.
So it wasn't nothing to talk about. I actually felt happy that it went down like that because I was able to start from scratch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was disappointed in the friendship part of it because it was mostly friendship that was what Rockefeller meant. But, sometimes it's hard to be a friend with someone when it's business, because the business stuff is not the most pleasant thing.
When was the last time you spoke to Jay?
I don't remember.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is. It's corny. I always felt that way.
Right. Yeah. He's your son's godfather. Boogie's godfather, right? I mean,
he was. Yeah.
What's Boogie think about this?
He not think about that shit. He got a father.
Right.
He's not thinking about it at all.
What was the first thing you would say to Jay if you guys had a conversation?
He knows. He sent me some tickets the other day. I needed some. It's not like I don't think it's an issue with him.
Right.
I just think we took different paths.
Right.
Period. I'm proud of everything that he's done, and I'm proud of everything that I've done since then. And I feel like I've done a lot, and I feel like whatever his dreams are, he's made his dreams come true. But my dreams aren't the same as his.
Right.
What I consider a win, not most people do. The way my perspective, like life is about perspective. So my perspective on things is probably a little different than most.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not really trying to be in hip hop at 42 and 3 and looking like the old man in the club. I never wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always wanted to do fashion. I always wanted to make movies. I enjoy business, being an entrepreneur on every level. But I really enjoy it. Like I really enjoy my independence. I enjoy doing businesses without anyone's help.
You seem a lot happier right now, man.
Yeah,
Are you?
Yeah. I'm raising my children. More than anything, it's about your kids. So I love the life that my kids have. I love the life that that my kid's mother has. You know, I love Rachel's life.
Right.
I love what I've helped to, I watch, you know, my daughter and my son just came back from opening up a gallery with me in Hong Kong, you know, and then Ava just came back from going on a trip with his mom's, Rachel, to India for a whole India trip. So on both sides, you know, she sees a woman that's strong.
Right.
And she's also seeing a man that's strong and creative and independent and never had to compromise quality of living. I could pick my daughter up from school every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it's always been about.
Yo, how was divorce, man?
It was nothing.
It was nothing.
Nothing. That's like that.
Like how though? I mean, I hear that.
You got to get a mediator.
A mediator.
Don't get a lawyer. You know how lawyers are.
Yeah, and so y'all worked it through.
Yeah.
And what's your relationship with her right now?
A1, but I'm not really allowed to speak on it.
Okay.
But we good money.
All right. So any prospects of you getting married again, man?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. I you know, I don't think about shit like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it happens, I'm not opposed to it, but you know, I haven't met a better woman than Rachel.
Right.
You know, she's a strong woman.
Right.
So it would probably take a lot of, you gotta remember the two women in my life are Leah and Rachel. So for me to find women greater than that,
how did Leah
I'd be a lucky
happen, man?
Just spending time. You know, we just saw things, the same.
Right.
And it was new. You know what I mean?
What was new about it?
Meeting someone that's trying to do the same thing you're doing
in the urban
environment, in the same urban marketplace, but not really being so urban.
Right.
You know, it was just her mind was where my mind was. She understood me and she got my jokes.
Right.
She thought my jokes were funny.
That was important. That's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jokes.
Like I said, if you don't enjoy laughing, then you probably won't enjoy being around me, even if you got to be the butt of the joke sometimes. but I used to. You know, everybody has their turn, and I get snapped on too. So
you used to joke Aaliyah out?
Hell yeah. She used to joke me out.
Right.
Because, again, I joke myself. That's what we do.
Right.
You know, we heat each other up. You know, in Harlem, that's what you do. You cut ass. You know.
She was built for that.
She was built for that, yeah. She was funny.
Right.
She was real funny. She was dope.
Yeah.
She used to ride out.
Right. How'd you feel, man, when she was...
when she died?
Right. Yeah.
My heart was broken.
Right. Did you feel cheated, man?
Nah, I felt like a fucking... broken heart, like you feel when someone you love dies. You know, it was a normal reaction and it was human, but you have to push through it.
Right.
You know, God does things and puts certain things in front of you to see how strong. So it was defining pain. But as everyone saw, I dealt with it as a man and I was able to move forward even through the pain. And I was able to give people, you know, a perspective on death because I went through it.
Right.
Whether it be with my mom's or with the girl that I wasn't expecting to lose.
Right. Your mom steeled you for that moment.
Yeah. And then I was reading a lot of books, you know, The Seed of the Soul and all these different things. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think death is a bad thing because it happens to everybody.
It's a transition.
Yeah, everybody. If it was a bad thing, I mean, all of us, death is 100% going to happen to every living human being or anything living in the planet. So because it's such a definite thing, it can't be bad. It's just a process that you have to deal with. Everybody goes through it. Everybody survives loss. You know, the same time I lost Aaliyah, you know, 9/11 happened a month later.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, thousands of people lost and they weren't able to do it in the way I was, meaning, you know, I was able to go home and all the things that.
You lose Aaliyah and then it's 9/11. Are you going through something extra shit? Because, I mean, the personal loss.
I'm not surprised.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm like,
were you
tragedy.
numb?
It's not that I was numb. It's just that, you know, you think tragedy is not going to happen, but tragedy does happen. So it's like everything's possible. Everything that can happen is going to happen.
Right.
At least when you're living life the way I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because I'm having so many natural experiences, anytime there's death, I feel it. Because when someone famous dies, I usually know him some way, shape, or form. When one of my friends in the hood, when Ali Mo just died, I felt that too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from that, I knew him. I know his whole family. So I'm always feeling death because it's a part of life. And when you know a lot of people, you always gonna feel it. And I just happen to know a lot of people from different kinds of cultures and different kinds of walks of lives, from black to white, to famous, to hood, to not hood, from here to Hong Kong.
It's life.
To Thailand.
It's life.
I know something happened.
To people who wear fake jerseys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Los yes.
So Dane, you won't pay for that one later.
I'm sorry.
Yo, Dane, what's your biggest fear, man?
That I'm not enjoying myself.
Right.
That I have to compromise and have a boss. You know, that my children won't look at me the way they do. But it's not even a fear.
Right. How do you feel your children look at you?
Like a man. I take care of them, and I'm very present in their lives, and probably a little more present than the average parent, especially as a father. You know, remember I raised my son since he was 8. I was a single father. Nobody brought that up. You know what I'm saying? It never comes up in the life that.
And you had full custody, right?
Full custody. I went into court.
How did you get that, man? Because it was such a contentious relation. I mean, you can't talk about it.
For me to talk about it would mean I would have to say bad things about my son's mother, so I'm not going to do that to him.
Right.
But it is what it is. But I stepped up and was a man about it.
Right.
And a real man takes care of other people before himself, and I've always done that. So my children have always seen me do that, whether it's for them or whether it's for other people around me. I put other people before I put myself, and I'm independent. They're never going to watch me be strong one day and then compromise in front of some dude because I think he could give me a check. They've never had to experience that. They've only seen me in a position of power and as a man, and hopefully that's how they move through their life as well. But I also go home and cook for my daughter too, every night.
There's so much talk about you, even though you're not in the limelight like you were before. There's a lot of talk.
Like I am in the limelight.
But there's a lot of talk, man. There's a lot of talk about Dame fell off, Dame lost everything, this and that. But you're working on a lot of things, man. How true are those allegations?
I mean, it depends on what you perceive as a win or a loss.
Right.
To me, the minute I make $20 million, I put it all back on the street. That's just what I do. There's no fear in it. So because I'm always independent, like because I always have a staff, because I'm always building a brand, because I've never had to work with anybody. I mean, I think the difference between me and everybody else is, when I have tax problems, it's in the paper. When other people do, it's not.
Right.
I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So whatever perception is doesn't really bother me. It's all about quality of living.
Right.
My quality of living has never been compromised. You know what I'm saying? Ever. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's crazy because
I got galleries all over the world. How could I be like, to me, I'll be like, all right, well, I did start Rachel Roy and sold half of it to Jones, New York, and I don't see anybody else doing that right now. Like I did start another, I've done so many other things. Like I just haven't tried to advertise it. So I guess people's perceptions are different, but I just really
and you don't want to. Do you not want to advertise it?
I just don't care.
This point? Right.
Like I know so many businessmen that are never known for what they're doing.
Most businessmen are smart and quiet.
Yeah, most business. I know billionaires that ride coach. That only ride in Lincoln Continental. Like everyone that I know with real money is low key. So, me being an authentic businessman, I just wanted to be an authentic business. Like I lived the hip hop, mogul dream.
The cakeaholic.
Shit is old past 30. You can't do it past 35. You look too old. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. So I think my evolution has been ridiculous. That the business that I've accomplished and the things that I've done. So it's usually the people that just don't know about what's going on are usually the ones that are the most talkative or ignorant about it. And it's not for me to be trying to correct them. I almost prefer it. Keep them out of my life. You know what I'm saying? But, if that's what you call having nothing, having all of these different companies and, having galleries and having, clothing lines that are $50 to $100 million and,
and legacy sneaker companies.
Yeah, but I didn't own that. It was a license deal, but I gave it back because it was a sucker's deal. But I'm just
thank you for even fucking with the original Uptowns.
I did.
The original Uptowns. Pro Kids were the original Uptowns.
Yep. That's why I did it. There's certain things that I do because I'm just creatively inspired. And I have to, like when I did Black Rock with the Black Keys and y'all familiar with Black Rock?
Yeah.
I didn't go and look at they won 4 Grammys. They're the biggest rock group I have 3 albums with them. One with RZA, a Black Rock 1 and a Black Rock 2. I never tried to monetize that shit. My problem is I make too much shit and don't try to sell it because I'm only doing it because I'm being artistic.
Right.
But a lot of the businesses that I'm a part of now, you don't know I'm a part of them because I'm not trying to be known.
Now I was surprised that I found out you was in the oil business.
Yeah, so oil. Dash Motors.
I like that.
Got a factory in Williamsburg.
How'd you get into oil, man?
Slick talk.
One of my galleries, the gallery at DD 172.
Right.
An artist showed. His name is Peter, and he's an older dude, and he also invests or handles like not to say like a hedge fund, but a family that invests in different things that are in distress. So it was a business that was in distress, and it was a factory that got bought. And we were discussing doing the oil, and we just did it. And, I liked it because there was an oil factory involved. And, my son could throw raves in the oil factory. And
the space. So it was kind of, in a sense, creatively driven in a sense, and it was good business?
It was completely creative. I just think it's dope to be snobby enough to make my own shit.
Right.
So I make my own everything, really.
That Dash Oils, right?
Yeah, I make my own oil. I've always tried to make my own liquor. I've always tried to make my own clothes.
What liquor are you making right now, man?
I got this whiskey called Dusko.
Dusko. Yeah. Can we get a case, man?
Yes.
Please, man.
Thirsty.
It's good. It's a Spanish whiskey. But again, it's not like I'm trying to do it for money.
Right.
Like, I don't care if it's in $10. As long as I can do it at a professional level.
So you're involved. You're involved right now. As long as you can move where you want to move.
Yeah, like I got magazines, I got fucking television networks, I got motherfucking,
you got a job?
So internet.
What's
job?
Okay.
What magazine? Not America.
It's Blue Rock. I relaunched America New.
Okay.
But it's called America New. But it's Blue Rock and it's Blue Rock and America New.
My experience with America Mag.
Yeah.
You had a launch party at Nell's, at the old Nell space.
Yeah.
Years ago. And I blacked out that night.
You mean you blacked out?
They had everything open. They had the top shelf open. Everything was open there. And I did a lot of champagne and top shelf. Everything was open.
That's how we do it.
It's not hormones. It's Dame. You got away with cats. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm gonna say. You got away with cats. Like cats could be in an argument and somebody's trying to be right or wrong, but sometimes you really know how to humiliate motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm strategic about it.
Strategic humiliation.
Basically.
But the flip side is I've never known you to be a stupid cat. You're one of the most intelligent brothers I know that I've met inside and outside the game.
I appreciate that. And you're a lawyer. That comes,
So when you say something, regardless how somebody feels, 9 times out of 10, I feel you're right. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't just talk shit. Recently, you've been saying a lot of shit, man. You've been saying a lot of shit. You've been calling a lot of cats out, man. Like you've been comfortable, man. You've been making quiet money. You know what I'm saying? You've been out of the limelight, necessarily. You've been showing your people like your nice, quiet family life on Instagram. Why are you calling cats out right now? What's up with right now, man?
I mean, it's just time. A lot of people have done things I haven't liked, and you know me. I haven't forgot about it, and I'm not the kind of person that I'm going to complain, and I'm not the kind of person that's going to like leave my culture behind. Like, they don't stop none of my money. I don't really make money off music, even though I make music. That's not how I make my money. I do it for love and when I'm inspired. So I think I've been watching these people bully my culture and make money from it, and I've personally witnessed them do things that could make people that would humiliate the culture, and people would die and people would be hurt and they would make money from it. I personally witnessed these things. So I have issues, and I'm not going to leave people behind. I want them to be aware of what's going on. And also, I feel like, these CEOs have made so much money off rap beef for so long. You know what I mean? It's not like when 2 rappers have a problem with each other, they sit them down and squash it. They actually put a battery in their back, sort of like a battery might have been in Flex's back, and have them beef with each other, and then they make money off the winner. As opposed to what I do when I see 2 people having a problem. I sit them in a room and I talk it through, and I try to let them see each other's perspective and let them be aware that, when the cameras are on you, you're influential. You have to be conscious of the fact that what you do influences a lot of people. So you could be embarrassing a culture or you could be empowering a culture. I prefer us to be empowering. You know what I'm saying? So my issues at this very moment are there's some people that I feel need to stand accountable, and also I had to get my independent game correct. Like, yes, I was very heavily invested in other people putting up money in co-ventures, but I didn't have control because they were putting up money.
Right.
So when I decided not to do that, and again, it's been a very strategic game. I witnessed it. But when I decided not to do that, when I decided not to be corporate anymore, use other people's money, I knew I knew what problems were going to come with it. Right. Like, I'm from Harlem. Like, I'm never going to hold $1 ever, regardless. I'm going to always put it into the street. But I also noticed that these corporate people were starting to try to bomb on me, and they try to make it look like I had a beef with a rapper to keep the beef off of them. But I couldn't really answer right then and there because guys like Leo Cohen were using people like Warner Brothers money to fund his personal issues. So I can't fight a man when he's using somebody else's money,
right.
Especially when I'm funding other businesses. So I was like, I'm going to let him get that off and let's see what they do for the next 5 years. And, they did it. He got fired. And now he kind of like doesn't have other people's money to use to do all of those little corporate tricks that he used to do. And I think he's vulnerable. And I think we should make money off CEO beef as opposed to making money off rap beef. I just don't see why we can't. And let's have hip hop evolve and not have us fighting each other. Let's deal with social issues, conscious issues. Let's empower people and do right by the culture to everyone else, like lead by example. Like, why we have to be fighting each other? Let's have an intellectual conversation about the issues that are social, that are affecting people. Then I just notice a lot of people talk a lot behind people's back, but they don't say anything in front of them. So with him being weak and him not having the money to warn his mother money to use anymore, and him having to use, I know he's too cheap to use his own, and I know he's trying to get back in business. I just felt like, it was time to air him out and see what he was going to do. I feel like he has a responsibility, and I'm talking about Lior, to the culture. If I make an allegation that you're just making money off the culture and you're not giving back to the culture, you're not paying it respect, and you're not empowering us, I feel like you deserve to say something. Like, it's not like Lior, he wasn't, like, when he got money in hip hop, he hadn't done nothing in another culture.
Right.
And he's culturally not from hip hop, not black, white. I don't be saying black, white. I say culture. And he's not a participant of it. So why do we allow him to make money in our culture? Like, what was such a big deal about him? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I decided to do black rock with the Black Keys, the #1 rock group in America, I had already done legendary things in hip hop, so I had earned my respect there. You know what I mean? I had earned it. So I don't understand why he earns the right to make money off our culture. He can't make money off his. He doesn't do anything for the culture, and he's also benefited from the public embarrassing perception of rappers having beef. And then again, I just like with Flex.
And what is he giving back?
Nothing.
Right.
But also on top of that, I'm not saying give back. I'm saying let's have a conversation. And then, of course, see, the difference is this: is how you could tell. Lior, when he was using other people's money, he had Jay-Z money. Right. So because Jay-Z was corporate, he could get Jay-Z to be the person he had hide behind.
The spokesperson.
Now that he has no more paper, he got to use Flex.
Right.
He has Flex money now. So now look who's they found somebody. Like, I just really, I mean, I know you're gonna ask me questions about it, but I really just didn't understand why Flex was defending another man. You know what I mean? But I'll let you ask questions, because I could go on for days. I got shit on my mind.
What specifically did you see that's going on in the culture that was the tipping point that made you start speaking out?
It was always going on. Like, right. I haven't just, like, if you look at all of these films, which I taped because I didn't want them to say I was doing things I wasn't, I've always been saying that you guys are trying to take credit for our culture. I've never been impressed with these people. But maybe because I'm a little more enlightened or a little more evolved, or because of my experience in the street, I can tell bullshit. So I'm like, yo, dog, why are you trying to act like we need you? Like, I don't understand that. Like, I didn't like the way he robbed other people, and I didn't like the things that he tried with me. You know, it was things that I want to talk to him about in front of people, because these things have happened. I want to know his perspective. You understand what I'm saying?
You've had a relationship though with Lior, correct?
A business relationship,
right? But do you feel that you could call him and say, "Listen, I want to talk about this"?
I don't want to talk about it. Right. I want to do it in front of people. Like I said, why do rap people? They've been making money off us. My throat is sore from the other night at the Dipset concert with A-Track and them.
Okay.
At Terminal 5. That's why I'm skipping. But what was the question?
I said, like, why haven't you reached out and set up like a public forum or like a public debate?
Yeah, well, I'm trying right now.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
What do you think about people saying, you know what, Damon is not the $200-300 million man he was right now. Now he's got sour grapes. Because a lot of cats are saying that. Like,
I don't care what other people. Have you ever known me to care what another man thinks about my pockets? Like, I just don't understand this concept of other men speaking about other men's money. It's just not things. I'm not cut from that cloth. I've never been bothered by another man speaking about my pockets. I just don't think that's a manly thing to do. When people talk about other people's pockets, it's usually because they're insecure about their own. So because they have to try to downplay whatever I'm doing in front of whoever it is, so it doesn't make them look so bad. I mean, that's textbook shit. So honestly, you've known me for years, right? Have you ever known me to care about anyone's opinion?
No, not at all.
Before the whatever 300 million and after whatever it is?
You don't give a fuck.
Right. And also, you know me a long time. Have you ever known me to hold any money?
What you mean hold any money?
Hold, like I spend.
In your pocket? No.
I think holding money's for suckers. I put it in the street. I'm never going to hold money. I'm always buy more stuff. I always want work in the street. I don't hold dough, but I got businesses. And I don't understand why people continuously are talking about my pockets. Talk about your own pockets. Like, that's just pause. It's just wow. It's just I can't even acknowledge that. Like, 100 million of those questions about my pockets will never concern me. It's just too stupid. Like, you can't talk to me about me. Like, I'm not doing it for you.
You know, recently, like this past week, I've been disgusted with what's going on in the culture. And specifically, the thing that really pissed me off, Chuck D had an issue with Summer Jam and Hot 97 and promoting like just random violence on stage. And this is representing hip hop. So Chuck D basically reached out and was like, yo, this shit is an embarrassment. And they basically dissed Chuck D.
Who's they?
Ebro. Ebro was like, you know what? Well, you want some publicity? You know what I'm saying? You trying to sell sneakers like Buckshot? And I thought that was so disrespectful because if you know this culture.
What you have to understand is, again, what I do is I look at other people's perspectives. Right? So you got guys like Ebro, and I'm not calling him out.
Yeah, I'm not calling, but I didn't like that shit.
Hear me out. And you got guys like Flex who have jobs. They're paid. They don't have any equity in anything that they're working for. And a guy like Flex has had the same exact job for 25 years straight. He's 46 years old. A guy like Ebro, I don't know. I can't, again, I'm not looking at what he's doing or anything like that. But again, he's employed by somebody. He's told what to do. He's told to protect something that he doesn't own. His mentality is completely different than Chuck D. Chuck D's a man that fights for freedom. He fights for what he believes in. That, for a person with a job, like Hot 97 is owned by a parent company, and those people culturally have nothing to do with hip hop.
With this culture, right.
And they make money from it all day long. And other people that work for Hot 97 fight for them, but they own nothing. But they have a secure salary. They don't know about putting up their own money. They don't know about fighting for what they believe in. They're safe. People that have jobs, to me, are generally, they want security. They're I don't want to say they're scared, but
there's a lot of fear, insecurity.
Right, but again, you talking to a guy from Harlem. I've never had a boss in my life. So a guy like Ebro, I don't understand what he's thinking or what he's saying because I've never had that mentality in my life. You understand what I'm saying? In my life. Right. So when you ask me about that, it's like if it was me saying it, then I'd be surprised. My cousin Darren taught me that. You know what I'm saying? When sometimes I'd ask him questions about certain things certain people have done, and he said, "Look who did it." Like if it was one of us, yeah, you'd be mad, you'd be surprised. Are you surprised that someone that works for somebody would say that? That someone would fight for something they don't own because they're paid, but they still got to come and ask for when they could want to go on vacation, when they could take a day off, with the wear, they're used to being told what to do. That's like asking a slave's opinion on a free man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You would never understand what being independent means if you never had it. It's priceless. Like how much money? Let me ask you a question. How much money would you take to be a slave?
At this point, not a dime.
Exactly.
I couldn't do it.
There's not a billion.
I'm so happy now.
And if you're a slave to get the billion, you've cheated. You have not earned it. That's not earning it. Earning it is doing it, putting up your own money, flipping it, and owning it. Not working for somebody to get paid a fee. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of mentality. So I have no expectation of Flex understanding where I'm coming from.
Right.
And I have no expectation of me understanding him. We're cut from a completely different cloth. Like I would never ever fight for someone that's not fighting for themselves.
Right.
I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like Joey should fight for himself.
Has Joey responded to you, man?
No, how he's responded. He doesn't think I know, but everyone sees what he's doing. He was on the phone from what I heard, just crying to Flex, like somebody got to defend me. Like if you work for Joey right now, he's your boss.
At Interscope. He's at Interscope right now.
How does that make you feel? Like, Joey got to walk through the halls. They laughing at him. They can't laugh in front of him. And he's like, are you going to lead? Like, what are you going to do? They're watching him fold. So how do you respect your boss after that? Oh, he's not a boss. He doesn't put up any money. He's hired. So I feel sorry for him, but I think he should speak up. And I'm not trying to beat him up. I just want to talk. Why can't we have a public forum where we make money off intellectual stuff as opposed to making money off two black men fighting each other and saying bad things about each other? That's ridiculous. And that's why they continue to try to make hip hop look crazy. We are intellectual, but they try to make us look crazy. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, of course.
So that's just my perspective. I'm not mad at anybody, but yeah, it just was like, it's time.
See, I'm not understanding why cats are so afraid.
Oh, you want to know what really? I'm gonna tell you.
Talk right now. Why are cats are so afraid to talk?
I'm gonna tell you why.
The truth right now, Damon.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Or the truth as they see it.
I'm gonna tell you. First of all, people are scared of the unknown, right? The last 5 years, I've been banging out in court all day for different things. Like right now, I'm really battling, or was really, having, not to say battling, but we was going at it with $1 billion company, like real corporate stuff, with the Rachel Roy scenario, and Jones, New York, and, Sequoia, and all these different groups. these are real businessmen, and they don't scare me. I'm doing real business.
This is life as usual.
I'm not doing this for business. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this because I want to make examples of everyone that's taking advantage of our culture, so people will be empowered not to fuck it, not to curse, but not to be scared of them. Not exactly. You could curse. Okay, cool. Not to be scared of them, not to think that they need them to do anything, and just to stop. I just think it's time. I mean, I'm seeing us stick together culturally. Right. They can't stop us now. And the good thing about it is Google and the internet and all that is provide us with the freedom that we don't need any more middlemen. And I'm a guy that's used to being the connect anyway. I don't like to pay people to get something. I get out of here. I'll pay for that. Right. So now I can speak when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Let's go back.
So what I was saying is, so once I was going to war with these dudes and it was so easy, I was like, these guys are really clowns. They're pretending to be businessmen. I do business every day. All these guys just pretend to hip hop that they do business. What business do they do? They don't do any business. They make money off our culture. And then they go into another culture and act like they did something.
And they get celebrated elsewhere.
They think they're too corny. There's no swag. Those guys don't even know how to have fun.
Let's go back to the series of events, man. Recently, you started going off on Steve Stout. You were on video, and you were saying that, when you were heavily in the game, you were really trying to create a sense of cooperative economics.
I don't like Steve Stout.
Why? What specifically happened, man?
Like I said,
I don't like him either.
Nobody really likes him. He's a culture vulture.
Right.
But it's worse because he's black. Again, it's hard for me to have respect for a man. Like, again, I met him. I was hearing about him first through like D-Rock and C's and all of them.
Junior Mafia.
Because they were laughing at him. They were always teasing him. But who's this Steve Stout guy? I wasn't from all that. And they were like, man, he fell asleep. We put a wig on him.
What you mean they put a wig and lipstick on him?
I saw the picture. He had a wig and lipstick, and there was a Polaroid of it. Cam saw it. People saw it. I'm sure that picture's floating around. But anyway, so after that, so I was like, this is
send that shit to me, B.
I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But this is back when I'm just fresh off, like, I'm young and insecure. Like, man, I would have woke up swinging on everybody. What did he do? And he didn't do anything. So from then I was like, he can, he was done. He was cooked for me. And then when we got to know him, I didn't like, when he was with Nas, he was doing anything he could to salt our deals with, like Interscope and Sony. It would be him that would be like leaving that trail. Like he played like that, and then like when we started to get better and cool, like when we started to, like when we went #1 and all of a sudden he was our friend. And it was a moment that Nas wasn't doing so well. And I think LL, and I didn't like how Steve was telling me all their business. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
and you wasn't even asking.
Yeah. It was like, why are you doing that?
Right. I don't even know you that well.
You know what I'm saying? He would tell me about Will Smith's business. He would just tell me when people were doing bad and just laugh at it. He just had no care for it. And I was like, that's corny, man. I don't like that. I know he's talking about me. And, I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, and again, I don't want to glorify nothing, but, he's like, I didn't like the way when Jay started the role, he started trying to be our friend. And, like, #1, when that thing happened with Steve Stout was the dude that got the lawyer to sue Jay. Right. And I was like, what type of shit is that?
Aren't you supposed to be
That's just crazy.
Trying to be our friend?
Regardless, man. Right. Like, first, mind your business. Second of all, God damn, you're going to give a lawyer for someone to do, that's... So that bothered me, and I couldn't have him. I didn't like that. And then...
Did you ever call him out?
Always. And then, like,
would he say anything?
Hold up. No disrespect.
No, that's all good.
So then when we did get cool, I remember I went with him to a Laker game, and Warren G flipped on this nigga. Like, God damn, Warren G's like a smooth dude. I had never met him, but we knew of each other. And I mean, he was flipping on him so bad, I had to ask Warren, could you just do that when I'm not here? I got to ride home with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, why is he so mad at you? Like, good God. Then he started to roll around with security. I'm like, why you need security? And then we used to, like, argue. Like, this is back when we first started getting deals. And we used to bet each other about certain things. And I had bet him like 18 racks or something for something. And one day he was in my office and with Jay. And my brother was there. My cousin Darren was there. And they were talking about doing a party. And I was like, yo, dog, we not doing no party with you. So
you didn't want to do a party with him?
I didn't want to do a party with him. I was like, I'm not doing no party with you. You whack juice, huh? You get out of here. You want everybody team.
Right.
And then, like, and I had been playing basketball in the Hamptons before I had broke my foot, playing ball. Like, I was playing in Nike Airs and, like, Little Richie stepped on my foot or whatever. And so I was, like, had a broken foot. And I was like, yo.
Little Richie.
Yeah.
Be Little Richie.
Yeah, we was playing, because we used to play basketball, like, Bad Boy against Rockefeller up in the Hamptons and stuff. And he, whatever. So, you know, I was like, yo, by the way, man, you owe me $18,000. You know, I was already aggravated, so I was like, Lee, where's my $18,000? And he was like, I'm not paying you. So I was like, damn, man, I got a broken foot. So I limped over, and she was like, I think you better get out of my office. And again, I'm not glorifying this. I'm not proud of it. Right. But he ass-bet me. You know, where you from? You can't just tell a nigga you ain't picking. He's like, I'm not paying you. So, I smacked the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I put my hands on him because it was just so disrespectful to me. And it probably was for other stuff. And, you know, I was like, and this was after he had just told on Puff. And that's another thing I didn't like, that he told on Puff when he got hit in the head with the bottle. Right. Like, he tried to put niggas in jail. Like, I was like, I thought, for where I'm from, that's snitching. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know why he's around. You know, so, you know, I was like, yo, I didn't want, the reason why I smacked him was because he made like a move like he was going to hit me. And like, imagine if Steve Stout would have caught me and I got a broken foot and my friends would have been teasing me, you know.
Steve Stout had a chance, though, to fuck you up, though.
He wouldn't have fucked me up.
With a broken foot, though.
He got smacked.
But he didn't react.
No. I gave him, I was like, I'll give you a fair one. I'm into that. Like, it ain't nothing between us but the win. But, you know, and then I was like, you know, just go call your lawyers, whatever. But
did he call his lawyers?
I think he probably tried, but I don't think he could sue for a smack. You know what I'm saying?
Open hands.
I mean, it's still an assault.
Like, it was a left hook, and I broke my I broke my watch. And again, I'm not.
The best smack.
Frank Mueller. I remember, but it was because I felt threatened.
Right.
And I don't advocate people putting their hands on each other. It's nothing I'm proud of, but it happened. So you know, he's a sneaky guy. You know what I mean? So he's not the kind of guy that's gonna like outright do stuff. So he's also the guy that's been like putting stuff in the paper and salting deals here and there. Like, I hear about it. He talks about it. And then one time I ran into him, and long story short, we almost got into it again. But one of the girls that was working with me jumped in front of me and started punching him in the face with a bag. Boop, boop, boop. You know what I'm saying?
A girl was punching him.
Yeah, I ain't even say her name.
Right.
But then another girl that I was with jumped in front of him, and he pushed her on the floor. And I was like, ho. Like, you know, you done. And, you know, I didn't like him pushing a woman on the floor.
Right.
And then I was like, this is getting outrageous. You know what I mean? And the cops came. She ended up suing him, you know, but that doesn't come on the paper. But right. I just don't like the way he handles things. You know, we too old to be fighting. You know, I apologize for smacking him, but I just don't like what he does with the culture. Right. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think he's doing with the culture right now?
I think what he does
as a spokesperson.
I think what he does is he pretends that he's more cooler than he is to white people.
Right.
And then he goes and tells black people that he can make money for them immediately, but he doesn't tell them that it could compromise their brand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what he does is he helps corporate whore out artists, and the way he looks at artists is like, you know, you're hot now, I'll pimp you out, and then the next artist. You know what I mean? And I don't like that. So I didn't like seeing Mary J. Blige do a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. I thought that was, you know, I really, even though at the time I wasn't in business with Jay, I was like, damn, I didn't like seeing him do a Budweiser commercial with a Confederate flag. I just didn't like it. You know, I never agreed with putting Jay's whole name on a $40 sneaker, like, you know, Sean Carter on a Reebok sneaker, even though the deal was big and whatever, and that's good. But
that wasn't Jay's
all
brand.
Reebok, I knew all Reebok was using it for was promotion for their brand. They're not making money off that. You know what I mean? So if you put your full name on something, it should be expensive because you kill your brand. Once you put your name on something $45, you can't really put your name on something that costs $100,000 because the same person that can afford $40,000, I mean, for $40 sneaker ain't going to want to. You know, $100,000, a person that pays $100,000 or $100, you know, for that kind of money isn't going to want to wear the same thing. So those are the kind of things I just didn't agree with. And then I heard even taking, I hear little pop shots. He talks sometimes and those. So, you know, again, I'm not the kind of person that talks behind a person's back and it's come up and that's just how I feel about it. That was my personal experience with him. I think if you tell on somebody and testify and sue Puff, the problem is these people, these culture vultures, people still work with them. And that's what keeps giving them power. But like, if we living by the rules that we subscribe to, if you cooperate and you sue a brother, I don't see how people be friends after that just because they violated a code. But that's why I don't get paid for my celebrity. No one can give me a check because I live by these ideals. So that's my issues with Steve Stout. You know what I'm saying?
You spoke specifically though about trying to collectively build your money with other organizations, other black own organizations, and he kind of soured that shit.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to put everybody's business out there, but we did have something that was going on, and
it was something tangible.
It was something that we could do as black people. Like, I always try to put us together and get money for what we could do. Like, I don't believe we need to go outside the culture because we're so powerful.
Right.
We don't need to raise money. We have enough if we put it together and just do it ourselves. And because of the internet, there's no reason to stick together. So, and also, even if you don't make money, I just think for the culture, publicly, we should just show each other sticking together because that's the problem with the culture. We just don't stick together because we're so afraid that someone's going to get that slot. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It just happens.
Do you think it's worse now than a few years ago, or you think it's better?
I think it's better, man. I'm having a good time.
But how so? Like,
because people like Cam, like that I've known for 25 years,
right,
that never sold out. Like now, you get to see who's really about it.
Right.
You could see who your friends were. You could see who was just there for the money. You could see who has any kind of backbone. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a lot more transparency in the
game. I think the problem with people is because they're so insecure. When I'm direct, they overreact to things because they're trying to make a smokescreen for what they're insecure about.
Right.
And then I'm like, yo, I just asked you a question. Why are you so mad? But then also when you yell at me, I'm not about that, because I come from a place where you have to show people, like, if you show any weakness, then you can't be outside when you're in a certain business. So somebody flipping on me, I got to take care of that, because, that's just instinctually how I have to keep a certain amount of respect. But also I'm 25 years old. Like, God damn, my brain's not developed. What the fuck y'all want me to be? Super duper genius? You know?
Right. You mentioned a lot of people on Instagram, particularly during your days at Def Jam. But one of the questions that I have to ask you, because this person has always spoken highly of you, is what role did Russell play in all the hijinks that was going on?
He was already sold the company. He
right.
was the face. But he didn't play no role. Like, I never liked the way Lior carried Russell either. Like, I didn't like the fact when Lior did, because that's all Lior did was take Russell's brand and monetize it. That's all he did. I think he could have did that himself.
Right.
And then when the company was sold, he stayed on to run shit. So when he became chairman, I just thought, and even when he was running after they sold Def Jam, I just thought that they should have set Russell up better. I just didn't like the way they treated him. I didn't like the fact that he had to ask. I didn't think he should have had to. I just thought it was very humbling. And Russell's such a gentleman about it. Like, I'd always step to him. Like, I would step to Leo. I have stepped to Leo. Like, yo, I don't like the way you carry me.
On behalf of Russell.
Right. And I'll do it in front of Russell, and they get all uncomfortable, and I'll be like, yo,
What would Russell tell you, man?
He'd be like, don't worry about that shit, man. But he has a different way of doing things.
Right.
And I respect his life a lot. And I expect his approach, because when he speaks, it's always positive when it comes to the culture. I wish we could work together a little more, but we never worked together.
Right.
But he's also like, Russell was the person that I wanted to be always, because I liked his life. He's very confident. He never walks around with security. He always had women around him, and then...
And just what he gave to the culture. Like, it's undeniable what he gave to the culture. It's undeniable.
You have to give... That's why I'm saying. So, like, why would he have to ask for a meeting or not take his call to a person he put on? He should be set up no matter what, wherever he's at. He never breaks bread. Like, so basically what I'm saying, that's what I mean. You don't give back to the culture. So you went and took half of Russell's brand, but when you're in position, you're not going to share it with Russell.
Right.
And again, it's not for me to speak for another dude, but he's my OG. You understand? You asked me, so I'm telling you. But I'm give Russell full respect. That's my OG, and you have to respect Russell. He's cool, man. For his everything he did, he definitely paved the way.
Everything he's still doing.
He paved the way for me to do it a little better. Like,
right.
I'm at Russell's neck, though. You know what I'm saying? But, when I met him first time, he don't even drink. I bust a bottle of champagne with him. He didn't know who I was. I was like, look, I'm coming for your title, man. Let's drink up for now. And he drank with me. He's like, I don't even drink, but I'm going to drink with you. And I respected that. So Russell's always been a G, and he's funny. We play basketball and shit. I fuck with Russell.
Right. A lot of cats, that particular video comes up, man, and you with Def Jam.
Oh yeah.
And Flex spoke about that this evening, man, and
that was hilarious.
And cats are saying, like I said earlier when we started this interview, like, sometimes you do have a way with cats where you can make your point, or you humiliate cats, and cats don't want to fuck with you no more.
Yeah, my agenda was to humiliate everybody in there.
Right, but you do understand that
was my only form of defense. It wasn't like, where I was from, those guys would have got, there'd have been violence. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to do that. It wasn't all about that. So my only protection would be to expose people publicly. And yes, my intention was for not only I didn't want people to look at them like because they were lying the whole time.
Right.
It's like you telling me to treat a criminal good. I don't treat everyone bad. If you notice, like, I don't even snap on people till they snap on me first. But then after that, it's on. You can't be mad at me because I'm better than you. And snapping, you shouldn't have started with me. It's on. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think people's egos, I touch them. But again, also, this is my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm asking someone to do something 5 different times, and now I'm missing money that I got to pay for to put into another company and my kids, I think I should be able to tell you direct. Real business is not really about emotion. Emotion is for creatives. Real business, you have to have a cool head at all times.
A thick skin.
No, not a thick skin. Yeah, you cannot do anything based on emotion.
Right.
You understand? So my emotion would be strategic. It was a little therapy. And it was me showing everyone that I was not happy with our situation. Right. And also these guys are not who they say they are. Right. They're not putting up a dollar. They don't know how. It's crazy for someone that's talking, that's not putting up a dollar to tell someone that's put up a lot of money what to do or to ask them. Sometimes they forget mentally. They think it's their money. It was never Leor's money. That's why people say that's why when Flex was like, you used their money. No, I didn't use any of Leor's money. I used Universal's money. Right. And as I sold it, we were, and they benefited. We sold it. Right. We made equity and we sold half. The reason why we sold them half was so they could fund it. We were partners 50-50. We built equity and earned it based on a multiple. But of course, a business person, or rather a person that has a job and that gets told what to do every day, wouldn't even understand that. But also that a person shouldn't be talking on another man's business regardless. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, right. you never supposed to talk about another dude's pockets. That's like, that's the sure sign of a non-man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about another dude's pockets? Like, what is that?
Now, Damon, man, a lot of people, I've been reading on the internet, that a lot of people miss your personality, man, because you've had such an incredible history in the music industry. Not that it's over, but that your history is so, I mean, you can't ignore your history. I mean, one of the things that I hear about is how individuals, music men like yourself and Irv Gotti, don't exist anymore. And I want to go back to those days, man. I want to go back into, like, you know, what was in your DNA? Like, you talked about what was in your son's DNA, but what was in your DNA to create the empire that you created, man? Like how did you, like, let's go back, man. Let's go back, man. Coming up. Back. Yeah, let's take it back, man. Let's take it way back, man. Like, I want to understand, one of the common threads I hear about people that are successful, man, is that at an early age, at some point in their life, man, they were exposed to wealth. And I want to understand your relationship with wealth at an early age, man.
I mean, I was, I don't know if it's a fortunate or unfortunate thing, but I was right there when crack came out. And when crack came out, it made really young people, not to say millionaires, but it made them like hood rich. Right. So, you know, you have someone 15 years old with no expenses.
So how old were you when it hit?
I was about 15.
15.
Right. So, you know, it's about, you know, being a kid with no bills and having 10 grand in your pocket is like being a millionaire, right, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So I've always sort of had, whatever, on a relative level, been wealthier than most people around me. You know what I'm saying? Just because I've always been entrepreneurial and always tried to have a business, you know, and I always wanted to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? So my experience with always having what I want when I was inspired to have it, I don't really know life without being able to do whatever I want. You know
life without?
Yeah, I don't know what that feels like.
Right. Now, one of the fascinating things about you, though, is that, like, you went to private school. Like, you were exposed to greater wealth beyond what was being exposed to you on the streets, though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was the kid that lived uptown and went to private school, and people downtown were intrigued by my life uptown. Right. And I was a kid uptown, or rather, I was a kid that went to school downtown that lived uptown. Right. So people uptown were intrigued by my private school experience. So I've always seen that I could survive in both areas easy, and they were both just as intrigued by my survival in both areas. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in the hood, they just couldn't believe I could be doing the country house thing with the white kids. Right. But in the, you know, with the kids that I was in private school, they couldn't understand my survival on streets that was so authentic.
You didn't get a pushback in the hood because, you speak white?
No, because I used to push back myself. So I also was fortunate enough to be all right with my hands. And,
did they?
I had to survive like everyone else had to survive. So, you know, if I was, you know, I've never been a victim. I've always been a
bully? So, you were the bully?
Not a bully. I just never was a victim. I just would always make sure that I was on the offensive as opposed to the defensive. And survival was imminent, you know, and I had to, you know, I was trying to make money and live and not have anything taken from me. So that was never an issue. I was never insecure about anything I ever did on any level.
I used to box also.
Yeah, I still do.
How many years did you box?
Since I was a kid. Yeah. You know, not to say that I was boxing at a professional level, but, you know, I used to work out at the boys club. And I always was able to kind of, again, like, I just always felt that defense was important for survival, especially when you got a mouth like mine. So I was always decent enough to be able to, I would always do a fair one. I'm not saying I'm super gangster, but I was always down for a fair one. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's Harlem. Like, Harlem isn't about being tough. It's just about being thorough. And that's the only way you could survive, especially in a time where it was so competitive to be entrepreneurial.
Now, I want to learn about your family life, because I've known you for a long time, but we've never had a conversation like this.
So now you want to have it?
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, and I know, you know, that you lost your mom at an early age.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through that, man?
I mean, it was a while ago, but what I could say is at one time, my worst fear was losing my mom. And when I lost her, it was confronting my fear. And being that it was so at such a young age, I've never really lived with fear of anything.
Right.
How old were you?
15.
15. Yeah. So a lot of things change at 15.
I mean, like I said, as becoming a man, things change and puberty and all those things that you're insecure about. But, being able to survive at a time, and without the person that I thought I couldn't survive with, again, when you face all fears at a young age, then I never was scared of anything, so I had felt my worst pain I thought I could feel, except until Aaliyah died, you know what I'm saying? But, it was always a thing where there was just no fear of living because I had already, the thing had dreamed or my worst nightmare had already happened. Which is also a reason why I believe that your mind is strong and that if you manifest a fear, eventually you're going to have to face it. So I'm careful about my fears.
Now, at 15, though, that's a young age, man. Were you angry? Were you upset, or did you just?
Nah, I just had to get focused.
Right.
I had to be, I had to take care of myself and survive. My mother left me with all the jewels to be able to articulate anything that was on my mind and make anything that I dreamed into a reality.
Right.
So it was just important for me to live, and that's what she had made sure that she made sure I was educated, and she made
sure you went to private school.
Yeah, she's the one that made sure I went to private school, even to the extent that after a year or two in the street, that I put myself in boarding school, just in honor and respect of all the work that she did, and I felt like she somewhat had died to make sure that I was conscious and aware and well evolved.
Right. Now, where was your pops at the time?
He was around.
Right.
He's the old school weekend dad, that kind of thing.
Were they not together or?
Nah, they were divorced.
Okay.
Like I say, he was a weekend dad.
Right.
He died like about 3 or 4 years ago.
How was your relationship with him?
It was cool. I mean, again, me being a father and knowing how I carry my kids, we didn't quite have the same perspective on raising children.
Right.
But, overall, I felt more sorry for him for missing out on a lot of stuff. And, forgiveness is a big part of living as well. So I've always forgiven him for anything that, because of whatever insecurity he had with himself made him neglect certain parts of my life.
Right.
So I was so happy with the way my life came out that I only would feel sorry for him for not being a bigger part of it. So I always forgave him. I always did the right thing as a son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, do you think his actions or inactions inspired you to be such a great dad?
Probably.
Right.
For sure. Again, I don't know. I'm a person that loves the love. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I had children is just because I wanted something or I wanted to be able to unconditionally and trust and love someone. Right. And also, I started having children young strategically. So like at this age.
You strategically had a son at 18.
Yeah, because I wanted to be, 28 when, or 20.
That's a little.
Yeah, I know I'm next level thinker. I've always been strategic about my whole life. Like right now, I'm not thinking about what I'm doing now. I'm thinking about what I'm doing in 10 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What I'm doing now is what I thought about doing 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So when I was hustling, I was in the music business. The music business I was trying to do fast. Like I'm always thinking like a couple of steps ahead of the game.
Where does that come from though? Because most people, even people that have been exposed to education and opulence and training, where does that come from? Because I remember one of the things that fucked me up about you is before the record label hit, you were already talking about, we need to get Rockefeller, and I need to get like the film company and all. Like where does that come from, dude?
I think at Harlem Hustle,
right? But even Harlem cats, a lot of Harlem cats don't see.
I don't know. It's innate awareness,
right?
And the insecurity, of being bored, and always feeling like I'm so far ahead of the game that I feel like I'm behind all the time, and also. When you crack things early, like when you make a dream come true early in life, you got to make bigger dreams.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to do the same thing twice because it's easy. There's no challenge in it. So I'm just constantly challenging myself. And I'm more artistic than people would understand. Like, the music business for me was just an artistic expression for that period in my life. But it didn't define me. It was just something I did well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as you know, I was always trying to do a lot of things. And, not just the stereotypical Harlem or hip-hop mogul thing. I was always doing things sort of on an artistic level. Was that your first goal, man, to get in the music industry? Nah, my first goal was to make money.
Right.
I came up again when having money was important for survival, having the best things.
Right.
And having more than people that were older, younger, and whatever. Like, that's just the competitive nature that I grew up around. So I was just always trying to get it no matter what. And I still am on certain levels, but it's conditions now that I'll get it. Like I got it a certain way.
Right.
So now the only way I want to get it is on my terms.
Right.
Because it's too easy to get it the other way. And, you know, I don't enjoy the quality of living the other way. To me, being
looking over your shoulder.
Just being independent. You know, when you have too many people involved in making the same dollar, there's too many different agendas. You know what I'm saying? There's too many different people trying to get you to do things that fit their purpose. Right. You know, and then there's too many personalities, and dealing with men is not always the most funnest shit. Dealing with
you like dealing with women.
Yeah,
like I noticed in your office you like women.
I don't like dudes.
Why is that, man?
They're too insecure. You know, it's too much bullshit with it. You know, no matter what you do for a dude, he resents you. The more you do for a dude, the more he resents you because he wants what you got.
Right.
It's always like that, and it's just an innate human thing for men. You know, to always want to be better than another dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But girls, you know, they tend to be, unless you get them tight, they're a little more loyal. You know, they judge their success by your success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. And I don't know. I just always I'd just rather be around some beautiful smelling, you know, well
nice sounding,
some, you know, and this is a guy that boxes, but now I'm like, I should have been doing yoga all that time, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being around a bunch of
not Bikram though,
tough whatever. Just whatever.
You still doing yoga, man?
When I get a chance.
Dash in the building, talking truth. You were saying something, Damon, about why else you started talking, man?
Oh, because you know my barber Kenyatta in L.A.
Right.
You know, your barber, he gets close to you because he cuts your hair. In your house, you trust him. He sees everything. You know, he becomes your friend. And, you know, he saw the whole thing from my perspective. So you know, I've always appreciated his struggle as an independent. And some things have happened that have been defining in his life. And I'll let him explain that. But I respect him, and he's an entrepreneur. But also, he'd also hear all the bullshit in the barbershop. So he started to tape me. You know what I'm saying? So he taped me this day when I was in my crib in Malibu. And, you know, I was like, you know, you need to make some, you know, chop it up and put it out. Start bringing attention to your brand, because he taped a lot of other people that he cuts. Right. And the other people that he cuts respect him because they're kind of like-minded. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to, of course, because he's an entrepreneur, give it to him.
Right.
He has certain clients that won't give it to him. He can't even ask. But those are the guys that don't think those are the guys that are getting paid by corporate.
Of course.
They don't like to help too much.
Right.
You know, that's the thing too. Like, if you're gonna get paid by corporate, shit with your brothers. It's like if you're gonna be the warden in the jail, and your whole crew's in the jail, you gotta let them do what they want to do.
Right. Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know why people don't share. But anyway, so he made the tape and then he put it out. You know, and again, he has a book and he has a movie, you know, these other things. So he caught me, and again, like if somebody asks me questions, I'm gonna answer. Like, I'm not politically correct. I don't sell my celebrity, so I don't have to worry about what people are thinking. You know, I sell product for a price. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the street, this is what I learned. You know, I see drug dealers smacking. You know, they're not very nice to the drug addicts. The drug addicts still stay online as long as the work is good.
Right.
So when that's your motto, have good work, you don't have to be nice. You don't have to worry about things, because I'm not asking nobody to give me nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So I've always appreciated. So he did the tape, and I was teaching him how to, you know, and he put it up. And
you didn't anticipate the buzz was going to be this crazy?
The thing is, I knew it was. I didn't care. Right. You know, it was for him. You know, if somebody talks to me, I'm not going to be politically correct. It's phony.
Right.
So when people buy experience, if you're an artist, it's about being authentic. Once you start to do things in a formula, it's not the truth anymore. You know, artists not supposed to be a lie. Artists supposed to be complete. A real rock star is a person that's against the grain, not that cooperates.
Right.
So the last couple of years, it seems like, because I haven't been around, it's been like cooperators are running shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that are cooperating, that was people's model. Cooperate and we can survive. Nah, get them out of here. And because of the internet, and because now, and also what I understand about Lior is he invented the 360 deal. Like, you got quotes of him justifying it. Then he gets whacked, pause, and now he's trying to be independent.
And speaking out against the...
Yeah, what is that? and when I was doing it, he was the main guy trying to get it. So he thinks we're that dumb. And I'm like, yo, So I also, again, I just think CEO beef. Let's have an articulate. Let's make hip hop look good.
CEO beef.
When we fight, yeah, why do you keep putting me with a rapper? But you know why they was putting me against a rapper? Because that's the old, they kept me to focus on a rapper, so I would not focus on them. Mm. It's an old trick.
A distraction.
What are they doing with Flex? They got me focused. They got y'all focused and everyone else on Flex. I'm talking about Joey.
I'm talking about Lior. I'm talking about Todd Moskowitz.
So you really believe they put the battery?
They definitely put. I told you, people see
in Flex's back.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Why is Joey not fighting for himself? Speaking up, not
maybe
punching.
Because he's not built for that.
But
you got quote unquote bosses.
All right, so
that's not
let me give you another instance where I'm really is where it's like venom for him.
Right.
Where I have no mercy for him. So with the Max B and Jim Jones situation, right? I'm not going to say any names, but all I know is that Joey told someone that if he can get Max B out of his deal, that there would be money for him. And then he proceeds to give this guy my number. This guy's been asking other people for my number, and I've been sending a message like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't want you to have my number.
Right.
So Joey gives him my number. So, of course, this is an aggressive guy. You know what I mean? And he starts talking to me aggressively, and it could have snowballed into something crazy.
Right.
And it almost did. But because I'm
crazy, like street shit?
Yeah, street.
Right.
Like, these are real guys. Max B's in jail for murder right now. So, basically, instead of sitting Jim in a room with Max B and squashing it because, he had some kind of control because he had the money, he put a battery in someone's back for us to go and fight so that he can make money off the winner. And I'm sick of them doing that. You understand what I'm saying? And that is where my problem came, from him.
Right.
If I wasn't who I was and level-headed, because black on black fighting is the dumbest shit in the world. It always makes us look stupid.
Isn't that shit so tired right now, 2014?
It's always been tired. We look stupid fighting each other. We look stupid fighting, especially at a certain age. When people start fighting, it's because they're not comfortable with what they know.
Right.
That's overcompensation for feeling dumb. When you start fighting, it's because you can't, your emotions get the best of you. Right. So you with your hands on, like I said, I wasn't happy I smacked Steve. I really wasn't, because that's not the example I wanted to set for everybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now the next time something violent happened, I just had to pay for it. Not to say with me, but with someone else, because that's the example I led. I was disappointed in myself. But that dude was pissing me off, and he was violating certain
But
things.
did you ever pay back the $18,000?
I smacked him. In the street, once you hit a nigga, he's paid. I was like, if I'm not going to get my 18, pop! And now I felt all right. But again, I'm saying it's slick, and I shouldn't do that because it takes the focus off the message.
Right.
But I was still living by street. You can't just ass bet me in front of everybody, man. And I will give you a fair one with a broken foot.
Divide and conquer is over in your book right now.
It's been over.
That's your message right now.
As long as it's independent, there is not going to be anyone with another agenda trying to divide us.
Right.
Only thing that can hurt us is us, but we stick together. Harlem sticks together. We have friends that stick together. Like every day I speak to someone that I've known for 20, 30 years, and we don't make money off each other. We just kick it and laugh and talk about the old days. I'm so happy to have friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm loving this shit. And I'm also happy to be able, like, you saw I walked in, I gave you some chips cookies. Look, let me give you some more. My son is an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? He's in Fairway and Zabar. Yeah, have some cookies, man.
Chips.
Damon Dash is pulling out chips cookies.
My son, you know how proud I am to be giving out my son's product?
And you spoke about this the last time he was on.
I'm going to always talk about it because he makes me so proud. Like, a reflection of a man is his children.
Of course.
Look how much respect that man has, Boogie. He's level-headed. He walks around. He's a regular kid. He could have been a different dude. And he doesn't even like me to give him money. He won't let me. He wants to pay his own bills. That's more proud. Yo, yesterday he brought me, just out of left, this is my word, he just walked in with a pair of white Nike Airs. And had some dirty Adidas. And I was like, God damn, that's my nigga right there.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then his little brother, he's just a good, like when we went to lunch today, and all he talking about is, we looked at a retail store, and we sold up through here, and I'm trying to figure out how to get distribution there. And come on, man, I'm ready to cry every time I talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And he's a DJ. Like I brought some music over there. He's in, and also that was funny when Flex, he's trying to not acknowledge that we making that Federal Reserve record with A-Track and Cam. Like, right. I'm not making any new music. That was funny.
Flex was basically saying, man, let's get back to Flex now. Flex was basically saying that, and I didn't necessarily understand his logic. He was saying basically what you're saying, that you were crazy for going at CEOs.
But again,
he said you were crazy for going at CEOs.
Listen to what I'm saying. Yeah. This is a man that's had a job for 25 years. Of course I'm crazy to him. He's used to having a man tell him what to do. Like Ebro Ebro is his boss. I know he, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not Ebro's company. None of them own that.
Right.
So again, I'm not disrespecting him. It is what it is. It's a different mentality. He's he's 46 years old, and he's had to go to the same exact DJ time slot for 25 straight years. Now, you would think that he would mold somebody and maybe give someone an opportunity to have that slot.
Because he's got businesses. He's doing well for himself.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you're 46 years old, right, and the demographic of the radio station is 15 to 25, does that make sense for a 46-year-old? What relatable experience is a 46-year-old going to have with a 15-year-old?
Unless they're selling that brand.
Why don't you?
Like Coca-Cola.
How about this? Yeah. Again, it's a different mentality.
Okay.
Why would you want to be talking to 15 and 25 years old? Like, why wouldn't you want to go do something? Go buy a radio station.
I would say, I can't speak.
But why not empower someone else?
Right.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why not empower someone else? Why hasn't Flex let someone else get that slot? Because the only reason why, if he's 46 with his own businesses, is because he just don't want nobody to have it. It's logic. It's math. Why? I'm sure everyone under him is like, when are you going to get...
You don't think you don't think he enjoys that, though?
How could you be 46?
To be on the airwaves.
He's 46, though.
To be able...
Yo, his next decade is 50.
But to be able to be on the radio every day.
Again...
To have a platform.
I'm 43.
Yes.
His platform should be Kiss FM or
WBLS.
I could understand that.
Very strong station.
But why would you want to be 46 and still be hanging out with 15 and 25-year-olds? Why would you want to be the old man in the club for a living? Why? Is it because of the security of a job? And also, don't get off this question. Why not empower another DJ?
To have that slot.
Like, what? Isn't he molding somebody? Who is Flex been? He's been on as a DJ 25 years. Who is he put in position to be as big as him or bigger?
Cypher.
Is he bigger than him? Cypher? Oh, it's jokes. Okay.
I mean, you gotta ask.
I'm just asking you.
See, I don't know what's his business.
Why do you think that then?
I mean, I'm
asking you a question.
I don't know. I
You're a
literally
lawyer,
don't know.
Your mind can work.
I'm saying
do the math right now. What does the math add up to you? Why would a 46-year-old with other businesses want to be around 15 to 25-year-olds and not ever in life put another DJ in a position to be as big as him?
Maybe because he's in love with that spot. Maybe he's in love with that spot.
That's the logic you came up with?
I'm just saying, maybe.
Now, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Why would a 46-year-old be in love with a spot where 15 and 25-year-olds are?
Because he gets to play music and he gets to
Why can't he play music at BLS?
Maybe he doesn't want to go to BLS. I mean,
I'm asking why.
And I don't want to speak for him.
You're being politically correct.
But
Combat Jack.
I don't want to speak for him, but when you think...
the Combat Jack show is just I go to combat, but you don't.
When you think about
come on, man, you're a lawyer. That's the only... You know why I gave you the interview? Because you my man, because I'm going to keep it indie.
But listen, though.
But because you're a lawyer.
Yes.
So you're smart. So you can't act like you don't know.
I can give you like...
Pretending like lawyers do.
But I'm saying...
Pretend you know like a lawyer.
Brr.
Flex, when you look at Hot 97...
I'm not looking at it. I'm listening to it.
A lot of people say that's one of the stations. That's like Flex has built that station.
Yo, get a direct answer. You trying
as
to
a talent.
You know my tactics. I'm bullshit.
No, he's coming for you, Combat.
Don't come for me, B. Don't
come for you,
Don't come for me, B.
I'm not coming for you, but your name's Combat Jack. Yeah. So I want either you to combat me or combat somebody else, just like I am.
Maybe he doesn't want to see nobody else shine. I'm saying maybe
that's the logic to you.
I mean, that's another alternative.
You said that. Is now. Also, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why is he so mad? All I did was ask him to have a conversation. I can never judge a man for an opinion.
What's your relationship with Flex? I mean,
cool.
y'all go back.
I taught him how to hustle. When he came through, he even said, he was like, dog, like, yo, this is the way you got to do it. Empower yourself. Use them to sell other things. I wasn't selfish about it. So I don't understand why he would defend somebody that's against that. Why wouldn't let me ask you a question. Yeah. Ask Joey this. I want you to ask him these questions. Maybe he could email it in and somebody could answer.
Hey, yo, Joey, can you email us answers?
Why would he advise Currency to do a 360 deal if Currency's already making money on the road without him?
Well, from what I understand, I didn't
ask you to answer it.
His people said,
see, listen, that's not what men do.
Currency's people said he's not signed to a 360.
Listen, that's a lie. I got his contract. Listen to me. Listen to me. I went to court with him. Let's not do that. I got the deposition, dog. It's on tape. Yo, listen to me. Listen. What I'm saying is, ask Joey why he would offer Currency a 360 deal, knowing that he's already making money on the road and already making money from merch. All these things were happening. And I never offered Currency a 360 deal. Ever. He always had a 50-50
because they said that you were offering him a 360 deal?
No, I don't. That's what they said. When I asked him, I was like, yo, dog, why you got a 360 deal? His manager was like, because that's what you offered him. So we took I was like, I didn't offer him a 360 deal. He knows that. Come on. I didn't even talk to y'all. Y'all weren't involved. You know what I'm saying? So, I love Currency, B. You ain't gonna never make me not stop loving another black dude like from the culture because somebody else put a battery or whatever. I don't do that. It ain't gonna be no. If I see Currency, it's hugs, it's kicks. I'm gonna smoke with him. We gonna laugh, you know. And that's that. I want my chain back in my car. Wish he send it back, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? We good, and let's figure it out. Count the money, break bread. Let's get money. And fuck all these dudes. Fuck Joey Paws. Fuck want all of them. Let's fuck everybody. Let's stick together publicly. Let's never let anybody see us fight. Don't let them manipulate press so they can benefit. Let's stick together.
So hold up. So you go back with Flex.
I know Flex. We never hung out.
But you go back with Flex.
Nah, because he wears purple. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. My man was like, you should heat this nigga up. He ain't even built for that. So what I'm saying is, you didn't answer my question, right? If he's able to speak, why can't somebody ask for a conversation?
You reached out to him, right?
On the what you call it? He reached out. He spoke to me on the radio, so I spoke to him publicly. I gave him the respect he gave me. I wouldn't wear a purple. I wouldn't wear. What I was gonna say is he wears a purple baseball. He'll wear a purple Yankee. Like I wouldn't wear a purple Yankee because the Yankees don't wear a purple Yankee, so it's not authentic. So I see this thing with a lime green Yankee. But where is the lime green Yankee uniform? Man?
So why,
that's a Harlem thing.
But why do you think he doesn't want to speak to you, man? Like
I think he's scared. He sounded
scared about what though, man?
Scared that I'm gonna ask the questions that I'm saying now, but in his face, and he'd have to answer them. Like, why are you 46? Why won't you give someone else a chance?
What do you think about him saying? Basically, what he said today was he doesn't have to talk to you because you're not relevant. Like,
what do you think about that?
I mean, I think personally that's some sucker shit.
All right, so there.
I mean, because I would always have a platform to speak to somebody.
Listen. I don't have a beef with Flex. He's a DJ. Right. I don't expect him to be able to intellectually match my weight on any level.
Right.
He never had that. I would heat this nigga up. You know, again, they put a battery in his back. He had papers. He said, I have notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was on the internet. Like, it was crazy. Like, I don't have notes. Like, you know what I'm saying? What is that? It was a battery put in his back. Like I said, they don't have J money no more. They got Flex money. From now on, the new broke is Flex money, by the way. If you have Flex money, that's not good money.
What do you think about him telling you that there's no reason for you
got Flex money, nigga?
No, definitely don't have no Flex money.
All right, cool.
But I'm saying, what do you think about him saying he doesn't need to speak to you because you're not in the music business anymore? Because you're in the slipper business. And what is this about slippers, man?
I don't know what he's talking about.
What is he talking about? I understand the art, and I understand.
I had no idea. Yo, honestly, the whole time I really didn't know what he was talking about. He was just spazzing. He sounded uncomfortable. It was like he was bugging.
Damon, you don't have a slipper company?
Probably do that I don't know about. But at some point I'm gonna make some. I don't know what he's talking about slippers. I have a lot of companies. So
you said arts and clothes.
Yeah, I didn't like how he tried to discredit art, like Andy Warhol. I have galleries around the world. That's bad? I'm supposed to be on the radio at 6 o'clock every day, being paid by somebody. I don't know. It makes me relevant because I have a job. Like I never subscribed to the music business to be. That wasn't me. Rockefeller was someone else's perspective.
Right.
So I did want to address. He gave me a perfect opportunity to promote, but when he said I didn't have any website, I found that to be funny. Being I had Block Savvy years ago with Biggs before anybody, but that's another thing. But right now I do have BlueRockMusic.com. I do have -motoroil.com because I make motor oil. Here, I'm gonna show it to you too. Yeah, I do. I sell motor oil.
You got 10W40?
Because you know what it is because once you sell motor oil, then you have to consider yourself a tycoon. And these aren't businesses I'm starting. These are businesses that have been in existence for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
We spoke about this last year.
See, Comet, you're gonna get synthetic oil right now.
No, it's not synthetic. There you go. That's oil. And again, it's just that I'm proud that I'm able to not only sell music. I want to lead by example. Like, let's do some other stuff. Let's sell oil. Like, who do you know that does that? I'm sure some people will be doing it sooner than later. But also, so you can go to -motoroil.com, and then my point of view is ddpoppington.com, and that's where you get the CEO clothes, and you see the lifestyle and all. And then I have
people are going crazy over the Poppington.
Yeah,
crew next, B.
Yeah, it's good. You see, I got a CEO made by Poppington.
That's hot.
It's handmade. Everything's made in America.
Hold on.
I make bikinis. Hold on, let me just tell you some more. He said I didn't have. Let's address it now because he said it. So I'm gonna answer it.
He's digital.
He said I didn't have any websites. So I also have.
Well, what's your Twitter, man?
I don't really do Twitter that much.
But what is your Twitter? Because cats.
It's Let's Go Poppington. Just like my Again, I always had it. I wasn't really. I would just. I wanted to see who would discover it.
Right.
So once I saw that there was a platform, then I used it. But before I wasn't really doing. I always had it. I mean, Cam put me on to Instagram, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Then we have Dipset USA. You see these clothes we're wearing now? Dipset USA. Okay, let me tell you another story about Lior.
All right.
Now he thinking I'm dumb. This is when he first signed with the co-venture.
Yeah.
So I just asked him just to see what he would tell me. I was like, yo, dog.
To test him. Test him.
But I'm black, so I couldn't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, what would make me rich? You know what he told me? $600,000 after tax.
Would make you rich.
Yeah. And, that meant that he wanted me to think that I was rich if I had $600,000.
That was the goal that he wanted to plant.
That's what he planted in my mind.
Right. Or wanted to plant in your mind.
I was like, damn, he plays. He's playing chess. I respected his gangster.
Right.
But I just was like, damn, people ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would see him, like, move places to like, he wouldn't even be in the zip code. Like, he'd go to townhouse, but he was like a couple of blocks away from the real zip code. But he fronting on us, right? I almost was going to buy that shit just to fuck with him, but I don't even care about him enough. But anyway, but then I would see him tell Kevin Lowndes to go live 2 hours away in the swamp in Jersey. And I'd be like, why? I said, Kev, why he tell you to move out here, but he living on Park Avenue? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. He wants you to settle. He wants you to think you living, dog. You not. You know what I'm saying? So also I would be like, I get it, Kev, because I always be like, Kev, how do you let these people make money off us?
You got it, Kev, man. You got it, Kev.
Always. Because he was always doing what he was told, and that shit is disgusting to me. He's a good dude, too. He
is a good dude,
he's a survivor. Like, he's not a fighter. I'm a fighter. And also, if you're going to help hurt the culture,
get paid. At least get paid.
Don't do it in front of me, man.
Right.
Like, I can't, I just, like I said, if you're going, like, like Mike Kaiser, he was another dude. He just does what he's told. And they all have positions now. You know what I mean? Like I don't like a guy like Todd Moskowitz. He's a lawyer. He has no swag at all. You remember Todd?
Yeah, I remember Todd.
And like Lior just gives him a job. Like, that's nepotism to the fullest. He has no idea. He can't dance, and now he walk around with scarves looking all crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even with Wiz Khalifa, right? It was crazy. And again, I was kicking it with Wiz and Currency. We was making music. We go to Woodstock, smoke weed and make music, and we was making short films and shit. And this is my word. He went up there with my cousin Keefe, him and Wiz and Currency. I was looking at it on the television network yesterday. And like the next day, a Suburban came up. And I was in the middle of Woodstock, 10 acres, it was crazy. Pulled up, 2 white people jumped out, pulled Wiz, and just took him. That shit happened. Asked Wiz about this. She was like, I don't even know these niggas. And then he had this manager, Benji. Yeah. And we made a lot of records, but I didn't put them out because when the reason why I just told the story was because I ran into Todd in the club and I was like, yo, you used to have this kid Wiz. Y'all signed him, but y'all dropped him. I was like, you guys are dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just told him, like, I'm not even trying to sign him or nothing. I'm just telling you, And then they came back around and, I don't know. I'm not going to speak his business, but, I just didn't like the way the kid Benji talk. Like, when we were going to put out the records, he was talking to me crazy, and I just felt like he didn't respect the culture. Like, how could you talk to me like that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
On the come up.
You not even on the come up. Like, you're not from this culture.
Right.
So if you talk to me with respect regardless. Like, don't be just get on the phone about a clearance for a record that's an indie record and just think you're going to talk to me all crazy. Like, I got to check him. But, Benji, you also that kid, I don't even know what he looked like if I see him, but I didn't forget that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these little signs of disrespect from people that are making money from my culture, and then they don't even talk to the people that have paved the way for them to make money off my culture any respect. Like, you're going to have to at least respect the culture.
Of course.
Or at least do something in your culture where I should respect you. Like, you're going to come in my culture. You can't come on my block unless you got your own block locked down.
Of course.
Period. So how you come and get money in my culture and you ain't getting money in yours?
On your own shit.
I don't understand this. And why do people believe
that's a great point, man.
Don't make no sense.
That is a great point, man.
You know what I'm saying? So these little things that, are things that through the years, and again, you look at all those tapes, revisit them. And the thing is, the reason why I used to bring the camera was because I needed a witness, because I knew they were going to, like, that thing that happened in Def Jam.
Right.
What happened was, God bless the dead, Biggs' brother got killed. And we were at a wake. And all of a sudden, we heard through the grapevine that there's going to be this whole full meeting with Def Jam and Jay. And honestly, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
So they said
because Jay was your artist.
Yeah, it just doesn't add up. Right. It's just wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I need y'all to ask Randy Acker. I need you to ask Kevin Lowndes why we are having a meeting without his artist.
Right.
Publicly. Ask him. They want to answer me. I had to yell and shit.
I guess Flex was already answering that.
He didn't answer it.
He was answering it today. He was like, you were already out the picture.
Then somebody was doing something that wasn't right.
Right.
So either there's somebody dead wrong. Who is it? So I'm still fighting. Like I of course, why shouldn't I? If I'm out,
if somebody didn't speak to you like a man,
yeah. Why would that happen? Why would that be approached that way? So I would never think that. I'm gonna always give my man the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
So he's trying to throw Jay under the bus, and also Flex. If you're gonna throw Jay under the bus, throw him under the bus. You know what I'm saying? He called out Juan and all these other dudes saying you let them get close to him. So you telling me they did something they shouldn't have did? Speak on that thing. And why is it taking me to say something about somebody else outside your culture for you to now start addressing it? Why wasn't it an issue before? Why were you holding all that in? He honestly had something on his chest for a long time. Why did it take me talking about Joey, a man that won't defend himself verbally? Like, if he's a boss, he should be able to give orders and he should be able to answer questions.
Well, like Flex said, he's standing up for his friend.
What is that? What is this? We in third grade? He's 46. I'm standing up for my friends. That's what friends do. And don't say you tried to pay me either. That was funny. Why do you keep saying that?
I guess because of the story, like y'all bought him a bag of.
I tried. Yeah, what the fuck? I wanted to buy him. He gonna work for them. He can't work for me. That was always my thing. Why you take their check?
That is a different thing, though. That is payola, though.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm fucking 20 years old. I don't know what the fuck about no payola, nigga. I was selling drugs. Boy, what the fuck? Everything's payola, nigga. I'm not claiming that. We were in our 20s.
Right.
Fuck.
Trying to get on.
I was 20. Half my brain wasn't developed. I didn't know that shit was wrong or right. I thought he was programming this shit. Why the fuck I'm paying the wrong dude? He's not the boss. I thought he was. No, he's not even a nigga to pay. The reason why he couldn't take it because he's not the boss.
Right.
I couldn't pay him to program. He has no decision making on what plays. So I was like, oh, who could I pay? That's what I was asking him. Hey, you don't want to mess with those guys. All right, man.
Yo, Damon,
play your position, man. You're not supposed to fuck all our money up. He thinks I'm gonna fuck his money up. But he's 46. What money is he protecting? Spend some money, Flex, man. Stop buying them old ass cars, man. I mean, they're good and all that, but go have some fun, man. Run around the world, man. Like, what could you be doing? There's a whole world going on. If you have to be someplace every day at a certain time, you can't see shit. He spent his whole fucking life in that fucking little ass studio. He's in a caged animal. Of course he's living in an alternate reality. He's in jail. Get out of jail, Flex. Go take a vacation or something, nigga. Look at his Instagram. He ain't no ocean in that man's life. He needs some ocean, man. That nigga needs some salt water because he's salty. Heating this nigga up, right? Yo, stop the whole radio station again and talk about me for 20 minutes, you stupid ass. No, I'm not going to say that. See? That's the way it gets disrespectful. That's, because I'm not used to guys like that being able to call me stupid. But, all right, we'll talk about that, Flex.
Yo, Dame, man, I appreciate this, man. I appreciate you coming through,
I want you to take this and take your show and go get money.
Yes.
I want you to get as much attention as you can because you've consistently been a good dude with me. You know what I'm saying? Even though you do some things that's questionable, like wear funny clothes every now and again. You used to shave your mustache. We used to talk about that. You've made an evolution. You used to wear those funny ass boots and used to wear leather. And tell me when I'm lying. You used to wear leather vest with the no shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that was never me.
I knew you used to wear that type of shit.
Don't do that. Wait, you never. Don't do that. Don't do that.
How the fuck am I wear a vest without a tank? With a tank. I had a tank top.
How you gonna wear a leather vest anyway with no sleeves?
That's crazy.
Pause. He was just like a male stripper. Stop. And they used to come out like shave his whole face, eyebrows and everything.
Yo, you bugging. You bugging right now.
Nah, you used to shave your mustache.
Of course.
Yeah, sir. That was funny to me.
But not the eyebrows.
It looked like it though.
All right. Yo, listen, man.
But we cannot let him go without, listen, one of our best episodes was the time Dame came on before.
Yes.
It's Just Blaze, but it's so funny.
Just? Damn, why you don't keep up? Yes, I fuck with Just. Sorry about that.
I thought you meant talking about this Just.
No, that's Just. Pause.
The other Just.
Yeah, this one.
No, but I mean.
The one with the joint in his hand. Pause.
There's a lot of joints in the room right now.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of joints.
What was you about to say?
I wouldn't be able to do this in the corporate environment.
Of course not.
Just seeing, him and Just connect afterwards.
It's good seeing
with the belt buckle. I mean, it just, it spoke a lot for what we done on that episode,
That honestly, I really liked the episode, man, because you guys were honest, and I want to do a TV show with you. I think we should do like an intellectual show about me. I'm willing to stand up for the culture. I'll be that guy. But I'll call out whoever I want to call out, and I could have a documentary about them and shit like that. And then we can give them the opportunity to speak, and you can ask intelligent questions. Or you could talk to them or something. But, either way, I just think there should be an intelligent approach for hip-hop.
Of course.
Because we are intelligent people.
Of course,
and
most of us are, man.
But why
that's the crazy
let me ask you a
shit.
question. Why do you think... You didn't even ask me about when I flipped on the Daily News. You slipping.
Oh, I mean, I thought that shit was old news, but why did you?
I never speak.
Why did you?
I always do. I just taped them that day, so they had to show it before I did. I always flip on them. These guys be nerds, man. These guys are squares. Like all they do is fucking talk about you.
Does that shit get tiring, man?
Not at all. I love that shit.
To be talked about, though? I mean...
You know me. Do you think I don't like being talked about?
I mean, but at a certain point, man...
What? What point? You don't know me, man.
But people bother you, right?
No, you must... You know me, man. When have you ever seen me bothered at all? I love it. Right or wrong? I'm having fun right now. This ain't for money. This ain't it is kind of a publicity stunt. But, but I want to use CEOs as my publicity stunt like they've been using us. They're using us like cattle. Now you're going to be cattle. Now it's your turn, punk. Now, that's what I'm saying. You've been using us, we using you. And I'm speaking for everybody that can't say it. Yeah, it's all right. You ain't got to say it. I got independent just so I could punish y'all. Period.
Cheer.
I'm punishing y'all. Yeah. And it's for y'all. It's for my culture. Power to all of us. Fuck that shit. I'm not just talking about black people. Everyone that's like-minded, that believes in sharing. Everyone that's corporate is not sharing. All these people get these deals. All these people fucking, get these jobs, and then they don't even cut checks for their friends that they've been knowing for 20 years. They get crazy like it's
That's crazy,
money.
man. That is crazy, man.
Yeah, but why nobody speaking on it? Why I'm the only one speaking on it? Where's everybody else? Everybody's scared. But no disrespect, it's okay. You don't have to be built like
Stop being scared.
No, honestly, you could be.
Stop being scared.
I don't judge people.
It's time for cats to stop being scared.
But
Damon.
my point is, I'm not judging them for that.
Right. No, you're not judging them, but it's time for cats to stop being scared.
Not everybody's built for what I'm built for.
Right.
You understand? Nobody's, I have a different survival skill, man. I came up in the 80s on 142nd and Linux. My survival skills are way different. They don't know who they're dealing with. But also, I'm not stupid. You're right. But that's not a stat. A lot of us ain't stupid. But for some reason, they keep hiring. Why do you think that Hot 97 keeps a 46-year-old on the most powerful slot? Because they want everybody to think it's all right to be 46 and have a job. Hot 97, why y'all doing that? Why don't y'all promote some people in our culture? Why Hot 97 ain't doing nothing for the culture? They got a bunch of people that fight for them. Big shout out to Miss Info. Like, she can't even come on the shit because she got to be afraid for a job. And everybody else that works. You don't have to fight that fight, but you don't own none of that. It's not yours. So why are you fighting for it? You think if I diss Hot 97, I'm dissing you? That's like saying if I diss a club, the bouncer should be mad. You don't own that club? The fuck you mad about? Because now you don't look so cool because you work for them? It doesn't really look that cool. It is what it is. You don't look cool working for, you know what I mean? It's not cool to work for Hot 97. They're not that cool. The internet is cool. It is what it is. It's not cool to be 46 and be like, stopping the whole radio station and protecting your friends. That's not.